Shalom. Before I start off this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rahak Wadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well in these scriptures. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Fresh off the plantation, getting a little morning exercise in. So I just figured, hey, I'd do a walk and talk all through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. I was at the gas station getting gas the other morning. It was actually yesterday, and I got home from work, and I live with a family member, and I was kind of fresh off of work, and they asked me, hey, can you run to the gas station and grab me a coffee? So I'm like, yeah, that's cool, I can do that. So I ended up going, and it's all, this is an example of how things happen because the Lord wanted them to. The Lord planned for me to see this particular video. You go to the gas station, and hey, I wasn't going to go because, my family member was like, hey, my relative was like, hey, if you don't feel like going, it's cool. I'm like, yeah, I got it. So I went, and as I was pumping some gas, because I decided, hey, I need some gas. Let me go up here and fuck it. I need to put some gas in my tank anyway. So I get up there, and I done paid for everything. I get to the pump. They got the screens on the pump. And when you pumping gas, they got little commercials or whatever. And I seen a commercial of this guy. It was his podcast. And he's on there talking about the brain chip, the brain C-hip. The brain CHIP, which we all know. I got Revelation 13 and 16 pulled up. I'm going to call for the scripture here in a second. But what he was going into was saying, he was like, hey, this guy, I forget the guy's name, is like this guy, he's able to communicate with his family. He got the brain chip. It's, he was basically going into how it's making life easier. And see, this is Esau's thing. The elite are gonna come. They're not gonna stay. Their idea of gradualism isn't, let's gradually scare people into getting it. Eventually, they'll resort to making it mandatory. But what they're doing is, a lot of people are gonna go for it because they're selling it to you under the guise of health benefits, under the guise of transhumanism, and they're pushing it under a sense of, in that sense of, hey, this is developing. We're connecting emerging humans and machinery, and we're connecting emerging humans in the Internet of Things. They're marketing it and pushing it as an advancement of technology that's gonna make life easier. But you can't never trust this devil, man. As the scriptures say. Let me see if I can grab that real quick. And Salaki, if I'm a little all over the place, this is impromptu, but you know what? Hey, the spirit got on me to, do a walk and talk, so this is what we're going to do. This is Psalms 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Hey, you can't never trust, anything this devil puts out, man. Just like with the jump shot, it's the same thing, except for this is gonna be more serious. Because if any of you Israelites take that C-hip and your chin, in your forehead, your right hand, your right thigh, your right arm, it don't fucking matter, man. If you get that chip, you're going to be missile food. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is gonna destroy you, and you're gonna get a grievous sore. As the scriptures say. But hey, Esau is pushing this chip. Like I said, man, he right now, he's being subtle about it. But we all know, according to the scriptures, this devil's about to come down with great wrath. Because a lot of people aren't falling for that bullshit, man. A lot of people are like, even people that ain't in the truth. You got other Edomites out there, Jake, that ain't in the truth. They still using that brain C-hip and connecting it to Revelation 13 and 16. So this truth is spreading, man, like a wildfire, you know? And a lot of jakes are gonna take it, but hey, if you of the elect, then you're not gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So this is gonna be made mandatory eventually. But you know, they're doing, I believe, they still doing test runs on it. You know, what we can see as of right now, the technology is here. For whatever reason, they don't feel like it's complete, you know? And hey, ultimately, this is the Lord's story. This is Yahweh Basham Yahweh you know, movie, man. The Lord is gonna put the spirit on these niggas. I said on these niggas, which they are niggas, man, you know? But, hey, he gonna put the spirit on the elites to come harder. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, they're not gonna be giving you commercials about it and putting it out there in a subtle way. Eventually, they're gonna come out and just straight up say, if you don't have this C-hip, you cannot buy or sell. You cannot be a part of society, you know. And hey, we gonna lock your ass up, man, or you gonna have to run from us and go off the grid. You know. I'm gonna keep reading. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You know, so it's gonna come a point in time where you're not gonna be able to buy or sell without the MOTB. We haven't reached that point yet, but you know, it's at the door. The RFID technology is pretty much is everywhere, man. At hospitals, they use it to scan and track packages, you know. So, you know, you're going to get to a point where, you know, you can track your package. If you get the C-hip, you know, you're going to be able to track your package without having to actually go to a website. You know, right now, you got to manually do everything, but that's how they're going to sell a lot of people into slavery, because they're not going to, you know, they pushing the idea of a technological advancement. And what they really want to do is enslave everybody. I believe it was Aaron Russo. He came out and said this years ago. Their idea is to get everybody, you know, chipped and have control over everybody. There will be no more sovereignty. Klaus, what's his name? Klaus Schwab, you know, he came out and said it, man. You will own nothing and be happy. So that age of owning your house, owning a vehicle, you know, that's finna go completely out the window. You know, they got these 15-minute cities, which will be heavily enforced, you know. And what I mean by heavily enforced is, hey, they're gonna have, you know, robotic technology in these cities. Hey, those, you know, it's gonna be like a movie, man. You know, you gonna have robots patrolling. You gonna have, they already got all of this shit, man. And that's the thing. It's all, you know, hey, the robot dogs, the everything that they need, they pretty much are developing it, and you know, some of the things they already have. But what we're gonna see is, eventually, according to prophecy, Esau is gonna come down with great wrath. He knows that he has but a short time. So all this, you know, hey man, it'll make life easier for you. It's gonna go from that to, hey, take this chip or die. You know? Literally, man. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So, hey, this devil's gonna start moving in he's gonna set up laws, those draconian laws, you know, they're already in place. Eventually, you know, the Constitution ain't gonna matter. You ain't gonna be able to bring up the Constitution. You know, Trump has already set certain laws into play that, hey, they basically say, hey, even if you're an American citizen, if we want to get your ass up out of here, you don't get due process. It ain't gonna be no judges to judge your case. You know, and things are getting chaotic, man. You got whole police forces quitting their jobs. You know, you have a shortage of goods, which is being spearheaded by the elite. Hey, they're already setting the domino effect has already begun. You know, and just me personally, hey, I can't wait to see a lot of you women get fucking humbled, man. You know, because this society has been very, very cushiony towards the woman, especially the Israelite woman. And y'all are completely out of fucking order, man. You know? And our women being out of order is a huge reason as to why, you know, we're unsuccessful as a nation. You look at the other nations, they women are in order. I know I'm a little off topic here, but, you know, all through the spirit. But yeah, man, you know, I saw that and I'm like, hey, I got to do a lesson on that. You know, they already done started the See Hip is Good for You campaign. You know, you're gonna be merged with technology. It's gonna be good. Hey, a lot of people ain't gonna bite that, man. And then when Esau see that everybody not, you know, into being like, you know, in that Terminator spirit, man. Everybody ain't into that. You know, a lot of people are gonna reject the chip, and then that's when they gonna say, you know what? It's time to go ahead and take the gloves off, man. You know? But I'm gonna go ahead and close this lesson out. You know, hey, it's at the door. You know, these prophecies are popping off, man, and we're actually seeing in real time. We're getting closer and closer to the main prophecy that has to pop off before we get the hell up out of here. Because until they make the chip mandatory, you know, hey, we gotta wait on that. That's one of those main prophecies. World War III ain't gonna pop off until that chip get made mandatory. You know, you got proxy wars being fought. You have certain skirmishes going on in the stages. We're in World War III. We're in a stage of World War III, but it's not gonna get climactic until Revelation 13 and 16 comes to pass. And that's at the door, man. That's gonna happen very, very soon. You know? But I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. You know, Lord willing, this was edifying, and until the next one, I say shalom.